Hot seat this morning we do have, and it is Education Wednesday, and definitely need that for sure. The morning that I'm having, got Jessica Morgan, and she's our STEAM director, and we're happy to have you, Jessica. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us. All right, let's thank our sponsors, Bradley.
All right, we've got Walmart, Meadowview Healthcare, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Upland, Celebrity Home Loans, Skyline Suites, Kentucky Cat and Core Recycling, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, and Fox Billy Wealth Management.
All right, wonderful. And yes, and wait, no, we do want a photo. We do want one. We do want one. Yes. It was. Do you want a photo? Yes, we want a photo. Anyway, I'm very thankful for our sponsors, and of course, let's talk about the New Year's and Walmart kind of getting back together. I guess, right?
Yeah, we're getting everything taken care of. We are making sure that everything is going well. We've already, as most people see, we are looking at Valentine's Day and having all that stuff, all the red and pink and white and everything ready for that. And but the big push right now is game time stuff. We've got all the snacks, all the wing trays, all the meat and cheese trays. We've got all the desserts, anything that you would want for your game time fun, and all the stuff to make your own snack mixes and chips, dips, and everything. So game time's big, and so the Valentine's coming in, so it's kind of like we've moved on past New Year's 2022, but looking ahead. So,
but I think too, this time of year, like kind of this is when people you don't see sunshine. Our sunrise didn't come up till later, or sunset, and we need that. We need a little something, a little boost.
Yes.
We need a little bit of,
absolutely. Absolutely.
That keeping that because you have such a and we on Christmas almost feel like we've done a huge production. You know what I mean? And then after the production, you need a little something else to just kind of keep going. You don't have to do a full throttle, but a little bit. Some Doritos and
so fellas, when you're in there getting your stuff for your game time snacks,
here you go.
Remember to get your stuff for your sweeties.
Look at you,
because they're the ones that are going to have to put up with you. Watching the games and making a mess, bringing everybody over, all that stuff. So just remember to do that. So
I love that.
That will probably be the best way to go. And give that candy and those hearts and all that stuff early. It's okay.
Yeah, why not?
And then that way, then say, hey, by the way, I'm having 27 people over for the ball game.
And I picked up, or I ordered some wings, so you go pick them up at Walmart.
Yes,
exactly.
So, I mean,
Oh, it's fun.
It's thinking of you.
That's exactly right. Well, on Valentine's Day, Wslm will be turning 69 next week.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's exciting for sure.
Happy birthday and
big birthday celebration.
It doesn't matter what the number is, just all the years that WSLM has been giving back to the community. Don't want to put you on the spot, your family on the spot, Becky, but absolutely, we are very lucky to have you guys in the community.
We feel very blessed for sure. Exciting time for sure, and just good reminders. And I think every woman was cheering you on, Brad. That's why I hang out with you. Those good little messages to send.
Hey, just stick with me. I've got good ideas. I can keep you out of trouble. So just
I love that.
It may be from experience, it may not be from experience.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's just I can keep you out of trouble.
All right, we're on to the 5th day of January. Today is National Bird Day. Jessica, what's your favorite kind of bird?
I would have to say a blue jay.
I love that.
Yeah, I like to feed them peanuts in the backyard and watch them fly around. So.
I love that.
Yes.
Feeding the birds that is a responsibility. Once you start.
Oh yes, and they keep coming for more peanuts. Every day.
I would too. What about you, Brad?
I like cardinals. I'm just because the symbolism that was. But great, bald eagle. How majestic and beautiful.
And we're having more eagles, which is awesome in ours, And, we were driving by and there was that one, and it was they're huge and they're absolutely gorgeous, So, I'm
they just have a majesty about them, and just, it's beautiful.
Does anybody, now I was raised when you see the cardinal, the redbird, you make a wish.
Yes.
Oh,
do you do that?
I was raised that when you see the cardinal, it's a past relative coming to check
Oh,
on
now
you.
you're making me cry.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I've raised both
Yes.
ways that it
Yeah.
was a past relative or someone that's checking on you, but you are to make a wish because there's someone who is going to
I love that.
be looking over you. Great.
It's just a little warm and fuzzy
Yeah.
thought. Yeah. National Keto Day. That's me. I know you're doing another plan, but over here, exciting as it may be.
Yeah.
Meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meat. You smell like meat and
I know.
cheese.
I love that movie, by the way. But yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. I got you covered if you need any.
I went out to eat the other night. I would have been perfectly fine. I would have been on a keto. It's like, are you going to have anything with your ham, turkey, steak, pork chop? No, I'm having this.
Come on. It's like, someone throw me a noodle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Piece of bread.
I know.
All right. National Screenwriters Day. I've talked to them. We've interviewed some of them.
Yes.
National Whipped Cream Day. Love that.
Yep.
Yeah. So get out and enjoy. Those are some of our wonderful, wonderful holidays. And speaking of things that are coming up, for sure. Of course, we know that. And real quick, I have to talk about. So, did anybody watch the ball drop? Did you watch the ball drop?
I did not.
No.
No.
Miley Cyrus. Did you watch?
No.
She had a little bit of a wardrobe. And it was okay. This is. Okay, so she had a little bit of a wardrobe. Okay, it's Miley Cyrus. Well, so she handles it and goes back in the back, and she gets this. Ooh, okay. she gets this coat that she puts on, and the coat like does not cling to her very well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really wondering if she shouldn't have gone a little bit more and put a little bit more on that. What they are saying, her backup singers should have continued on, like should have like carried it, and they kind of just hummed and I guess, or did not. They felt like the backup singers could have really made a
Bailed her out.
yes, but on their defense, what would you do? You know what I mean? You know, in that last second, you know, those few seconds, you know. So was it staged? Was it not? Who knows, right? You know, I kind of wondered if it wasn't all staged. You know,
You never.
yeah. So there's always got to be something, and of course then. Andy Cohen, he did a little bit. He said a few things. He called it fake porn. Yeah. So those were kind of hot water events.
Yeah. Yeah. So it always is good to go to sleep at 10:30, wake up at 11:45, and then just listen and be like, hey, not even watch the ball drop, just count it down, and then be like, okay, 12:05, I'm back to sleep.
Well, I did this weird thing. So for some reason, after midnight, I like came back alive. I don't know what happened. I don't know. And I didn't have anything to drink. It was just like weird. Couldn't go to sleep till like 3 or 4, and it was just weird. I don't know.
I didn't have that issue.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I did wake up at 3 o'clock and say, okay, euchre game is over.
Oh my gosh, did you play
It's
euchre?
over.
Yeah. I love that. All right, let's jump in and talk about our Education Wednesday. We do have from the Salem Middle School, Jessica. Jessica, let's talk about, first of all, how excited we are about the STEAM program, and tell us a little bit about yourself and what's happening, and give us all the information.
Okay. Well, I've been in education for 15 years. I was teaching at Mitchell High School before I came to Salem, and I taught at the high school for 3 years, and this is my 4th year at Salem. And over the summer, I accepted a position to be the STEAM director. And when we say STEAM, we're talking about science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And the new safe rooms that are being built at the middle school, that is where the new STEAM labs are going to be located. And when those are finished, we will have students coming into the labs and doing all of those STEAM activities with me daily. So very excited to get that going. And right now I'm in the planning stages, planning all of the activities and the different labs and programs that we can get going for our students. One of the big things or a couple of big things we're planning is a Rube Goldberg competition, which will be really fun. We have a group of kids that are going to go to Jacksonville High School next month, and we're going to compete with our Rube Goldberg that we are in the process of building.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. And then we're also talking about doing an Indiana Manufacturing Day with our 8th grade students. So that will be pretty cool. They do it in a couple of different counties, and I would like to get something started here for that in our new lab when we get that finished.
Love that. Love that.
Yes.
Well, let's go back to the building of the room, because it was at first, it was such a blessing because we had received, the information that we were going to be able to get the
Yes.
safe rooms. So this is a safe room,
Yes.
but utilizing it, it's like Batman. By day, it's
Well, you don't want it to
Wayne,
sit
but
empty.
by night,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
no, but I mean, by
Yes.
day, it's, and that's what the wonderful thing about the safe room is. It's such a blessing because it is protection if we should need such thing, but it's also utilized. And this was something at first with the middle school, kind of coming up with, and then when someone came up with this idea of let's use it for well, of course, we know STEM went to STEAM, which we love that it was added, that it went from one to the other.
Yes. Yes.
And for anybody that's confused, I know STEAM, but I didn't know, or I knew STEM, but I didn't know STEAM.
Yes.
It's just adding
Adding
more.
the arts.
Yeah, which couldn't love that anymore.
Yes.
So when this was like, the brainchild and came up with it, it was like brilliant. And so kind of finding something to pattern around here was kind of hard.
Yes.
So we
Very
had to
much
go
so.
to another location, and then, so I kind of wanted, that story is just so cool to go up there and to kind of see what other schools were doing, and then bring the information. And then they gave us the plans of how to build
Yes,
this.
they did, and they helped us with curriculum. So I've been to 2 different schools, corporations, trying to see what they're doing and take from them, but make it still that it suits our students here at Salem, because we are Salem and we want to do what is best for our students, and so we are taking ideas from different places and putting them together to make a great plan for our kids.
I love that.
And I think it's interesting too that we went from STEM to STEAM, adding the arts aspect. But something you mentioned that exposing 8th graders to manufacturing stuff. And so before you heard a lot about prepping kids to go to college, but there's a lot of great careers in our community and elsewhere that may not be for those that are not planning on attending college, or maybe don't have the resources still to attend college, or their interests are doing something else. So I think that's very important that you can get an education and you don't have to work in necessarily just a white collar job, or you can go in to be prepared for whatever you do. And it kind of services more of our students. It's not, no one's kind of left out. It's like whatever you want to do, Salem school system will help you get there.
Yes, and manufacturing's changing, so it's not like it was 20, 25 years ago. And there's a lot of computer-based jobs that are in manufacturing, and getting that out for our students to realize that these things are available to you, and this is what you need to do in high school to be able to get these jobs. And
we've got 2 really great places right here. We've got GKN.
Yes.
That is just, they are doing some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And opportunities out there for growth and
Absolutely.
it's amazing.
Yes.
And then we have MPP of Campbellsburg.
Yes.
These are like rock stars that are like great for our community.
And just the technology that they use every day to make whatever job better, and the information that they need. So it's very important to remember that, the differences are in equipping our kids to be ready for that too.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's just above and beyond. But technical difficulties. But anyway, I love that, and I think that, and I just mentioned 2 of them. There's more, but those are the ones that I've really been in contact and actually got to go to and realize what great opportunities for our community. We're so blessed that this community has this, and opportunities and good paying jobs.
Yes. Yes.
And that's something we want. For our students.
A lot of these places will train. They come in from high school. If you have the desire to work and you're a good worker, they will train you to work their equipment.
Absolutely.
Right. And it's good to have that, be exposed to that, and have some foundation before you go out there that makes you even more successful doing that when you've got a company that's willing to train you and go from there. So it's good.
Yeah. Well, and they welcome those.
Yes, they do.
Come right on in.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, so this is going. So, the stage we're in right now is kind of a hurry up and wait. I'm sure you're just.
Yes, I'm ready to get going.
Like, when is this going to? You're ready. This is like right.
Yes, and I see the new deliveries for the construction. I'm like, yes, something new came in today.
I bet you do. No doubt. Oh, I can only imagine this is a hurry up and wait. You know what I mean? Because anything. But my mom always said anything worth doing takes time.
Yes.
Anything comes fast, goes fast. So you want it to take, take your time. So it's being done right.
Yes.
And going and doing and patterning off of other schools and seeing, it's like building a house, you know, like when you go to visit other houses and see what you want, you take away what works best for ours, you know, for our,
and make it your own,
yes.
you know, you personalize it to the people that's going to live in the house, and that's the good thing that you can do for the students and the faculty, make it Salem. You know?
Yeah. And I love that other schools were very helpful.
Oh, yes.
That's a huge blessing. I love everybody helping each other. You know what I mean? Wanting to better, you know, everybody.
Yes.
Because when we get ours actually built, it will be the newest, the latest. Because we know technology changes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We'll have just a few weeks of being the, you know what I mean? Right? No, it's true.
Yes.
The one with the latest technology, you know?
Well, and we will have the best facility in Southern Indiana, so.
Hey, what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, you should be. It's definitely a time for celebration and excitement. And also bringing something, and Brad and I talk about this all the time. You know, when you're in school, you should try everything.
Yeah.
Everything possible. See, you know, because there's things that like you might not be introduced to that all of a sudden you love, you know. And this is one more opportunity, a big opportunity.
Oh, big opportunity.
To give our students.
And it may not be something that you spend long term doing, but you may just, hey, I had this one class that you look back and say, you know, I'm a little more well-rounded as a student, or that prepared me. And at the time I was just trying it. It wasn't something I wanted to do a lot of, but I did enough to where it kind of exposed me to other things too. And kind of, and I think that's always a good thing, you know, and any type of knowledge you get, no one can take it away from you.
Oh, no,
yes,
absolutely. For sure. So let's go back. Let's go over the different parts. So kind of talking about, let's start with the S. Let's start with the science. Kind of like, what's some of your ideas? And let's do the breakdown of the whole STEAM. Let's do, some of your ideas.
Well, when we talk about the science part, bringing in those hands-on activities for, you know, the physics and the biology and doing the lab activities that go along with the lessons that the teachers are doing in the classroom. And then the technology part, we want our students to be able to learn how to do coding.
Wait, let me go back to the science. On the science, sorry, I have to.
That's okay.
I have to pick it apart now. Okay, on the science part, like, will there actually be labs set up? I mean,
yes. We're gonna. My thought is to have different. I don't know if we will have Bunsen burners in the middle school. We have them at the high school. I don't know if that may be pushing it a little.
May not remember that.
Okay.
But we will
say Becky and I are awesome lab partners.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't think I can handle 25 middle school students doing a Bunsen burner.
You could have handled 2. Okay, let me just say, bless your heart. Thank goodness.
She's like, Brad, Becky, be quiet.
That's exactly right. Someone take them out of here.
She's like,
I'm sorry.
If this was TV, the look on her face.
I know. I gave her anxiety. I'm sorry. I have a morning anxiety.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Oh, but yes, we will have labs.
She's crying over here. I'm scared her to death.
But we will have like stations, different stations, where they will have different activities in each station, and they'll be able to rotate through and see, you know, which things they like the best and what they might be interested in. Like you said, different kids have different interests, and that science part will allow them to have, you know, an exposure to more biology or an exposure to more physics or maybe even a little bit of chemistry.
Love that.
So,
the hands-on always bridges that gap of the book and any type of homework and things like that. I always like that.
Right. And in the science part too, this is where it's such a blessing. You can bring the high school in.
Yes. And I'm a former high school science teacher, so that's great.
I mean, right? You know, this works perfect because also, you know, our high school students, because will be a middle school, so they'll have already, like, this is something that they've already, you know, gone on, but they have that opportunity to come back and see it and also be a part and, you know, and participate. And we know that them coming over would be way cool for a middle school student.
Oh, yes.
High school enters the room, you know what I mean? You know.
Well, and I've already talked to a couple of the high school teachers, and they are willing to have some students come over and work with us, and just that peer interaction of teaching them.
Oh,
so.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. You know, that's something, you know, like I could say it over and over, but then when their friends say it or say it over.
Yeah, when a peer
an older student,
then it's suddenly way cool.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
And that's something, we want to get them really, you know, turned on with science and everything and all that. That's wonderful. So that's cool. Okay, now I'm ready to go on to technology.
Okay, Technology, we want to expose them to more coding and more of the computer programming and hopefully some robotics. We do have robotics teams, but I would like to expose more students to that. Robotics, that's kind of where things are going. And so we want to have our kids prepared and know that that's an option for them if that's what they're interested in. So getting them exposed and just doing the simple coding to work out the robots.
And I think it's important, a little disclaimer from my perspective on this is, people have got to realize that even though manufacturing and even retail are using more technology and things like that, that doesn't mean worker elimination. That actually means more specialized people to handle things like that. So I think sometimes there's that myth, if you have more robots out there doing stuff, then you don't need people, and that's not the case.
Right.
So we want to kind of make sure that, I think that's important to understand that it's not an elimination, it's an enhancement of your worker skills, and I think that's important. Sorry.
You're right. You're right.
That, remember,
Yes.
Walmart, and then when we saw that there wasn't, it was still people driven, even though it was more technology. You kind of went through that.
Yeah. So that was just from that was
you still need the people. They're just different jobs for the people than what they're used to.
Absolutely. So are we? So there's the coolest robot right now called Moxie. Have you seen her?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's and it's really crazy the way she. I say she. It might be he. I don't know. It's Moxie. He or she. I don't know how she or he identifies.
We don't have the pronouns.
I don't know. But Moxie is it's a robot, and when you take her, because I have
When you
dogs,
take them.
take. I don't want to call it yet. I don't know. I guess out of the box, and then it goes through you've got to get one. It goes through the technology. My arm is working. My left arm is working, and she I'm gonna say she because I have girls. I don't know. Yeah. She raises her left arm, and then my right arm, and then she raises her right arm, and she's got this, and then she's like my turnaround, and she turns around, and she's a new robot that's out, and it's so this is where we're going. Yeah, she's $800. So we'll have to I know. Watch Jessica get anxiety. I'm never coming to WSLM again. I mean, I know that's pricey. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But if we could get several, maybe other people. But to me, that would be awesome for you to have him. I don't know him. Anyway,
Moxie.
Have Moxie in the classroom because I think I want somebody to get Moxie because I can't get Moxie, but I want Moxie. I just think check into that. Check into Moxie but this is where possibly we are going, and it's this technology, and we know Alexa we have and all that stuff that everybody's using, so there's different things that are being used that can be introduced, and it just keeps growing. So this is going to be a fun one, this technology, because it's changing daily. If you buy something today, give it a week and it's already.
Well, I don't know who said it, but I've heard the saying that we are never as far behind on technology as we are today, meaning tomorrow, every day, it just keeps growing exponentially.
Yeah.
And so we're never as backward in technology as we are today. And I think that's kind of interesting.
Right. Now, also and going back to the robotics, there could be competitions. Have you seen some of those?
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
Yes. Now
I love to watch those. When
yes.
some of them come in there and they just start shredding the other one.
But those kids, the intensity is, and what they come up with, and it's just amazing.
Yes.
And they are just all in, and that's just amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we have a robotics team at the elementary school already. We're just hoping that as they progress through school, we have the stuff for them when they get to be in the upper grades. Yes. We're hoping that by that time we are been going.
And I love a school system that has the feeder program where you start in the elementary, you head on to the middle school, and then let's keep it thriving in the high school if they choose to come in, because this building or this room could be utilized.
Oh yes.
Yes. So we hope to.
You always got to think about bench strength and have a feeder program. You've got to.
Absolutely.
And whatever it is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So love the technology, and yes, check into. Okay. And if you get Moxie, you need to call me because I'm
okay. All right.
Moxie, okay? All right. Also, so then let's go on to our next. Okay. Now.
The engineering and design process. How students can design different I can give them a set of supplies, and they have to design a way to deliver a package safely with 5 different supplies. How they can engineer a safe delivery for different projects or particles, and just things like that with the engineering, the designing process. We hope to include a lot of that as well in our STEAM room.
All right, and so now that's going to be so. I guess as far as like supplies and stuff, have you? Is that a concern? You're having a little concern on that, thinking about that.
I am a little concerned about the consumable supplies because every year they're going to have to be repurchased.
Yeah,
and so that costs money, and so when you're talking just middle school alone, 500-600 kids that are moving through the lab without high school or elementary school, that's a lot of supplies.
Yeah,
so,
for sure, definitely. Yeah. But it's something that it will work out. It will happen.
We will find a way.
Absolutely, and it does.
Build it and they will come.
That's exactly right. I mean,
Sorry. That was out my field for a second
Look at
there.
that.
Yeah, there you go. I'm ready for spring.
I know, we do. So, okay, then let's go on. Okay.
Arts.
Yeah.
And when we talk about the arts, a lot of times people think just the traditional art classroom, but in the arts, you can include language arts, you can include some social studies, a little bit of health, in addition to your traditional arts. And so when you start talking about, how ancient people lived, you can talk and bring in the arts into that as well. And students really love to bring in art into these topics. And so they can do things like build bridges, and that brings in your engineering as well, but they're building because that brings in your social skills from your social studies.
I love that.
Visual always helps.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it seems like building bridges and doing that kind of stuff, those are tools that like you can use.
Yes. And you can change it. It doesn't always have to be a bridge, but it can be used for something else. So.
Sure.
But architecture is a form of basic art.
Yes.
A lot of cultures, and I'm not trying to sound like an expert on this, please, but there's a lot of places that is how they design their buildings, their homes, their any type of things that they did to signify their culture and or even area where they were from. There were certain like here in the United States, you think of certain patterns and buildings and things with the rugs and everything Southwest style, and you think of clothing and all that kind of stuff. So I think that kind of interesting to bring that in.
And these are takeaways that even if they don't go, for their education or these are good things to know for everyday life.
Well, yeah, it helps become a well-rounded person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And, sometimes it might not make sense now, but it'll come into play.
Yes.
Somewhere in your life. I love that when those happen.
Yes.
And when you use it on a Trivial Pursuit game at a family game night. Like things that you learn, you go, I don't know why I know that, but I do.
I do.
And I just won. I'm sorry. In all reality, it's like one of those things that you learn something, no one can take it away from you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great. Okay, onward home.
Mathematics.
Yay!
And so that's the one where a lot of kids struggle with their mathematics. And so bringing in different ways to make students think differently about math, bringing in hands-on activities, so that it helps them to remember what they were doing in math class. Because a lot of times you can tell them today, and 2 days later, they're going to forget what you did in math class because it's not always that interesting for them. So bringing in those hands-on activities that focus around math, hopefully will allow them to retain a little bit of that knowledge.
Not to put you on the spot, Jessica, but what's some activities?
If you are working with circumference or area, you can, I'm guessing 6th grade area, we'll say, 6th grade level, like area or circumference, you can do things on a table with paper clips and erasers and things to diagram out your circumference and your area so that they can see it. It's visual that way.
I love that. Yeah. And turning them on to that, that might be, and everybody learns different. And everybody, and to get them, maybe this isn't so bad. I really like this, and that's something. So will every student be exposed to this?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
That is the plan. So
I love that.
Yes.
Love that. So they don't get to pick and choose that everybody.
No, everyone's going to go.
Because there might be some that I hated this.
And they may not really like the math part, but maybe they'll like the science part, or, it will get them exposed to all of it.
Or a light bulb will go off on a certain part of it and say, this isn't so bad.
Yeah,
and maybe,
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
hey,
Yeah. So this is going to be awesome. So, and we went through them. We did, that was our M. What are the dates that we're thinking about? Kind of I know it's hard to say. I know, no, it really is, but just kind of a guesstimated. Maybe.
Well, in the beginning, I was told 18 months.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we're still on track for the 18 months because of, the supply demand chain.
Well,
and so I don't know.
And I think everybody, Brad, you see it, we see it,
Yep.
everybody sees it, where
Absolutely.
it's like you are not. It's harder to get things a little bit more now. I think everybody knows that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, and I'm hoping that even if we have that issue, I can still get some supplies and start visiting classrooms and take things into the individual classrooms, even if the lab isn't done.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's a good idea.
if it's not completed, I can still have supplies on a cart or whatever and go in and visit with students in a study hall or something like that.
Right. So let's talk to the, okay, this is such a blessing, and I think it's so awesome, and I know I keep saying that, but I'm really excited about this. So also getting businesses to be a part. This is something too, you want to have that relationship
Yes.
with our community.
Well, and I'm hoping that when we start doing things like the Indiana Manufacturing Day and we start making those connections with our local businesses, if this is what we're doing, that it will help to strengthen that relationship, and they'll want to be a little bit more involved, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. And of course, when it is done and ready, we'll have a big open house.
Oh, yes.
That's going to be
Yes.
exciting, and I encourage everyone to come to that and see this.
Yes.
For sure.
We are going to put on a great open house.
Love that. I bet you're,
Yes.
yeah, no doubt. Well, you should be very proud, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
Absolutely.
exciting. So if you need Brad and I to come for the science, we are your science.
No Bunsen burners.
Bring your own, pack your own. Portable.
My own science kit.
That's right.
Got a backpack.
Exactly.
maybe
Ready to go.
maybe a microscope.
There you go. Yeah, we have those too. Yeah. Yeah. We love to put people under those, right? Just kidding.
I think something that I think from my perspective, from the people side of the business, of what I do, I think that the more rounded and a potential employee is, even if they're going to be there short term, long term, or whatever, the more rounded that, especially with the teenagers that are coming in, makes them overall more adaptable, and it makes them contribute in a lot of different ways, and makes them even more social and interact with their fellow associates. And I think, even if they are wanting to do something else, but I think the more rounded you can get young, I think that puts you ahead of the game, whatever career you choose to do. That's just my perspective from that.
Going along with that, we focus on, or we will be focusing on the 4 C's, and 2 of those C's for education is collaboration and communication. And so as students grow and develop through their years of school, developing those collaboration skills and being able to communicate will help them when they get out into the workforce.
Oh, huge. Those are huge.
Regardless of what you choose, those 2 things are consistent across whatever type of job you choose to do.
And the other 2, the creativity and the critical thinking, go along with that. And so, of course, that's going to help as well. But that communication is big, collaboration.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love that, for sure. These are great seeds that are being planted. Great. This is great for them.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's go back to middle school.
Yes.
Let's talk about middle school, because yesterday when I was saying, we'll have Salem Middle School on, and then I actually talked with Kevin Albertson, and I always joke with him because he's their principal at Salem Middle School. But the middle child syndrome, you know what I mean? You have the elementary, and then you go, and then the high school, in that middle. There's so much growth from 6th to 8th grade.
Yes.
I mean, and there's so many different emotions, things going on.
Hormones.
Right. That's when we were like, we got to stick together here. Yeah, we know too much information on each other not to stay close. You know what I'm saying? So, at 6, from 6th to 8th grade, there's a lot of growth.
Big growth.
And so, is that exciting? Is this like something that is suggested that this was like the perfect ages to start? Because elementary, you're like, you start off and their minds are sponges, they're learning, right? But by 5th grade, they're just so ready to go on into that 6th and 8th, 7th and 8th. Yeah.
Well, and I think not necessarily that it was suggested, but for our corporation to get those students ready for high school.
Yeah.
To allow them to see the differences.
She wouldn't talk
She
earlier.
agreed.
She went down to the time.
She's being a little stubborn today. Technology.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. My watch.
I gotta rethink that one.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
She does that.
But getting those students as they're in that middle age range of their education, getting them prepared for the upper levels, and continuing to grow their brains, continuing to allow them to develop socially and academically at the same time in this environment. Because when you're at different stations and you're in a big room with 25 other people, you have to learn how to socially interact when you're in a setting like that.
And I think that's great to also factor in having high school students come
Yes.
over and
Love that.
Yes.
those role models for them and things like that. And they can also, probably better than any instructor or teacher or anybody could say is like, hey, I've been in your shoes not too long ago. See, it gets better. It gets
Yes.
good. Or
Yes.
this is really fun. You need to give it a chance
Right.
and things like that. And I think that's
You know,
that helps them that helps them get prepared because it's achievable. I can do that. I can, it gives them somebody to look up to get there.
yes.
Well, and then the other side of the coin, if the fifth graders, the elementary comes over,
Yes.
how wonderful. I mean, that you talk about exciting, right?
Well, and they're always scared when they get there.
Oh,
They're a little nervous.
you-
They're a little scared, and so
In fifth grade, the locker, we were just like,
yes.
how are we going to do this?
And having the older
there's no way
students-
that I can get from point A to point B time-wise. You know what I mean? From class to class. Because I do have
But
to
we figured it out.
socialize.
Figured out a way to still
Yeah.
get our social time.
We had to socialize.
See, that's why the older kids, fifth graders, look, it'll be okay.
Yes.
You will get
Exactly.
through this.
Yeah.
You
And
will
if we
get
can
through
do it,
this.
you can.
Yes, absolutely.
But those were, So bringing them over, and of course, being the more comfortable they are with the school corporation
Yes.
and being, a part of it, will be better.
And along with that, we are planning to have some summer activities for students as well. So that's still in the developmental stage,
Sure,
trying
yeah.
to figure out what grades we want to open up this year, since we don't have the building finished yet. And what can we do this year to incorporate summer activities? But we're looking at some maybe some field trips and some coursework or learning activities that go along with going on a field trip to Spring Mill State Park and places like that. So.
How exciting is it, though, that this space will open so many additional
Yes.
doors, and how exciting. And you're always wanting the future to be better than where we are right now, and I think that should give parents a reason to be excited about what is going on and what's going to continue to go on and even develop a second school system. I think that's as alums, that's a pride factor.
Oh,
that you have to
definitely.
Oh, yes.
Well, absolutely. And this is something that, again, not saying that there won't be a future where other schools have it, but this is like really.
Oh, we're going to be the only ones that have it.
I know
So,
this is like really a huge blessing, and it was a huge blessing for us to even get the safe rooms. To have 3 safe rooms in a community is just, well, when we first got the very first one, that was
a big deal.
big deal.
Big deal.
And then to get 2 more, it's like a God thing that this is even happening. I mean, really a blessing. And should there be something that we need, to get shelter, for our community,
Right.
This is like so awesome for our community to utilize. And that's something that we are a public school. This is, our community, we are a part of this, and this is it's the collaboration of the two is so important. And I think that's, to me, is outstanding. I love everybody working together, and everybody working
Yes.
together. And I always go back to Gladiator. Remember when everybody put their backs together and everybody came out working together, they got things done. You know what I mean? Much more than individually trying to do it. And I think that's a good way to bring in everybody together, and also for the public to see this is what we've been doing. This is what we're doing.
Getting it out to the public is a good thing.
It is great.
It's great.
Yeah. Well, and then there might be, some people that are at home that have some great ideas too, and again, that's wonderful, to hear. And so you've really got a great thing going, and it's exciting, and I just know you're chomping at the bit to get this going.
I am.
So, will there be tables, or how have you kind of?
I believe that there's going to be table stations Like, and it's going to be a large space.
Yeah.
And so we are going to have different areas for different things. Like I think we'll have an area where we'll have a green screen. I think we'll have an area where we can have some, maybe depending on the space, but depending, maybe a little bit of esports area. And then we'll have our areas for, your daily activities. And I do plan to use the green screen a lot. So
I love that.
I'm excited about that.
So what's some of your ideas with that?
Well, you can take that and use that in math. You can have the students do little videos with the green screen of how they work out math problems, and then they can upload those and show their teacher their work that way. And instead of having to do it on paper, and they can do it on a green screen or through the green screen with their whiteboards and take little videos with their Chromebooks.
And we can do the weather forecast.
Oh, yes.
I love that. Yeah.
Just don't wear green.
Don't wear green.
Yeah, don't wear green. Yeah, definitely.
Be the bobblehead.
We have been there. I've done that before. I know exactly. Yeah. No, I think it's just great opportunities. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And, here we are now in 2022. And I'm so glad you came in, because this is like coming up, coming soon. Yeah. And it's good to bring good news, and it's good to show what we're doing. We're not, I do have some, and, I don't want to put a bookmark there, but we do have some cancellations, that have come up, some upstate. The Miss Washington County pageant has been canceled at this time. And there's other events that have been canceled. And we know that there's teams that are not able to play because of, COVID or, or things going on with this new variant. And there were some other cancellations, and I don't want to forget, and I forgot right now, but we're hearing that kind of stuff. And that's part of it. That's the reality. But it's also it's a good Wednesday morning to hear the great things and the sunshine and the wonderful brightness for the future of our Salem Middle School.
Yes.
So that's, I really am happy that you came and brought good news today.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, definitely. And it sounds like you've been a busy bee trying to get it
I have been, yes.
Get it all together.
Making all those connections and making the plans.
Yeah, definitely. And I think probably the other teachers are excited about this too. I'm sure, because everybody else is like really excited about it too.
They're excited to be able to bring their students to the lab and help enhance what they're doing in the classrooms.
Right, exactly. And that is going to be a big thing too. And I think every teacher, teachers, have been through a lot.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's been a stressful 2 years.
Well, yeah, definitely. And I think that, definitely we've realized, if we didn't before, we should have, the value of teachers.
Yes.
And I think that that's something that I want, Brad and I talk about that all the time.
Absolutely.
And so, and this is, and of course, when you're in education, and you're for the right reason, and you really want to get those kids excited, there's nothing more than watching a child all of a sudden when the light bulb goes off and they're excited about it. I'm sure, Jessica, that's got to be a huge excitement.
And then they get excited and they tell somebody else how they're excited, and it just it spreads. And so the positivity, that's what we need now.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, for sure. So, I think we just exciting, and we'll see, what the coming soon, and you can see the middle school's got a little bit of a
it kind of looks a little messy out front right now, but
very messy.
But I go check it every day to see if there's something.
But that's the way I clean house. I pull everything out. It's all messy if you walk in, and then it's going to go back. It'll go back, but that's the way. So excuse the messiness, but it will. You have to trust the process. It's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. And they've got the streets now by the school. They're getting them really nice, looking good. So that's exciting for sure. Some attention to all of that area, and it's good. So how have the students been coming back from Christmas and New Year's break?
Well, yesterday morning they were still a little asleep, I think.
Well, yeah.
But by midday they were back to their normal selves.
I love that. Well, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. It's always hard, you know.
Yeah, the morning they were very, very groggy yesterday morning, but they were.
And then you get in a routine, when you're off, you're out of your routine, so to speak. You're that stay up late.
But you don't get in the routine that your parents want you to be in.
No, not at all.
You still don't do that. You're like, suddenly you're independent contractor in your own routine.
Exactly.
And then you're like, mad because parents tried to get, or family, caregiver tried to get you in a routine, and then now you got to get back in the school routine.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there.
I'm going to have to borrow that independent
Contractor.
An independent contractor,
Yeah.
and then you have to go back into.
Those happen a lot sometimes.
Yeah, you kind of went through that, I'm sure.
Like, oh.
Yeah. Now maybe you will have groceries. You know, what I mean, because when kids are off, they eat. You know, that's all.
yes,
You know,
yes.
keep the refrigerator. You
All
cannot-
day.
Yeah.
All day.
And there's nothing to eat in the house, and everything's gone, but there's all kinds of. It's like, make up your mind.
Yeah. All that's left is the Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
And you know, what I mean, that's
How can you eat 3 bags of Doritos in 12 hours?
I know.
How does that happen?
Yeah, I know.
Teenagers.
I know. The struggle is real, you know. But it's funny, you know, how much, that all happens and takes. But we are into a new day and going on to that last. I guess it's almost like a runner, you know. If you pass the baton, and now we're into that last leg of school year, you know. So this is an exciting time, and of course we'll be getting in the springtime.
Yes.
And of course we got winter, we got all the snow. I keep thinking because our weather's been really pretty good, you know what I mean? But
tomorrow's Thursday.
Thursday and Friday, it's going to be we're going to
Yes.
be. I will be reminded. It's a different day tomorrow. So I wore a dress today because tomorrow's not going to be dress day, you know. Unless it's like in my
Bring your winter coat.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Bring your winter
I
coat.
have the coveralls. I do wear. I always say I am a little dressed up underneath these coveralls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, Brad? I try to convince people.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's warm. Well, Jessica, you are fantastic. Keep up.
Oh,
the good
thank
work,
you.
And I'm excited to see what the middle school. You guys are all outstanding there. I'm so proud of everybody there at the middle school. And
Yes. Everybody works so hard.
They do.
Yes.
They do. And, you know, we had the construction with the pool. That was
Yes.
The middle school's really getting a lot of revamping, aren't they? I mean,
They are.
And
we hear it. We can hear it.
trust the process.
Yeah.
Trust the
Yeah.
process. But you know, you think about that, and you know, and it's the newest school.
Yes.
So what a blessing, you know, really, you know, it's getting some good things happening. The pool is gorgeous.
Yes.
And what a blessing that we have a pool, you know, for those and teaching everyone how to swim, you know, and you might have advanced swimmers, you might have those, but at least if something was to happen, they can swim, you know, and that's a huge blessing. And that was our forefathers that had thought of that when they put the pool in many, many moons ago.
Yes.
I'm very grateful for that they had that was one thing they wanted to make sure our students at Salem School Corporation came through and knew how to swim. So
that's beyond measurable.
Yeah.
As far as that
absolutely.
goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you that's worked out wonderful, and now we're doing the safe room and the steam room. It's going to be exciting.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, at the high school, they're getting the new room 2, which is
The
exciting.
arts room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
chomping at the bit for that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So we'll have to have them on and talk about some of the great things they've got planned too. So definitely a time for rejoicing and being excited. And I love this for sure. So I think our community is excited about it too.
Oh, I hope so.
They are.
I hope so.
They are. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think it's to the point where when we see a little more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're on the outside, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you're on the inside and you're living it, but we're to the outside, drive by and like, okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yeah. So thank you for coming in for sure, Brad. Let's see. We also have a blood drive this Friday for those that the American Red Cross is saying they're in need of blood. So roll up your sleeves, and I think I'm going to be able to make it. So
Yay.
yeah,
That's
it's at
awesome.
the First Christian Church.
Yep.
So
That's awesome.
give the gift of life, give blood.
Absolutely. And you always consistently, do that.
Yeah,
I think that's
try
very
to.
important.
Try
So,
to.
yeah. We'll see if the king can go.
Yeah,
and
say
get some
the
tiger
king's
blood.
the king's got tiger blood.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah. Mike King, he's
Yeah.
got the tiger blood.
Yeah.
I don't have that, but I
Yeah.
get what I can.
Right,
you know.
right,
yeah.
right.
Oh, we'll
Absolutely.
take Becky.
Yeah,
you know, but we
absolutely.
don't have.
Come on.
You know.
Yeah.
See, I got the tiger
Yeah.
blood that Mike King's got. Yeah. But,
Yeah.
So give the gift of life, give blood. You do need to register for that. We had Mindy Gunn on, and she talked a little bit about explaining the new variant to us. I appreciate that. We are learning that it seems to be that hopefully is kind of dying. I don't want to say dying down, but is not as maybe I don't want to. I'm going to be very careful with my words, but that it a little more contagious. I mean, it's easier to get it, but it's not the severity.
Yeah.
So maybe it's getting a little weaker, if you will.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the way. If I'm saying that right, there's probably somebody screaming at the radio. She's not saying that right. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I think that's the way I understood it. So, and I've been reading a lot about it too. So it seems like there's been more people wearing masks than I've seen lately. A lot of people, and I'm sure you've seen it a lot more publicly. Yeah. I know your associates still do, and that's very nice of them.
Absolutely.
I think they're a team player. They have a lot of great energy and a lot of great smiles, and
we have a lot of great resilient folks
you
over
do.
there that
Absolutely.
just do what's important. But I think that's their commitment to our community and their friends, family, and I think that's important. I mean, that's another thing that makes us special.
It's like that song, nobody's gonna break my stride, nobody's gonna slow me down.
Yeah. At least we're not having the resurgence of the toilet paper.
No, thank God there's toilet paper. Exactly. Thank goodness we are not going through that.
Yeah, but
right.
But I think that just stay diligent and take care of each other.
Stay the course, and and we are hearing a lot of folks that are getting COVID and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and I think it's important that we are hearing more cases with the newest strain, but I think the number that we need to just stay diligent and remember is that we'll take more cases when we have less deaths and less hospitalizations. So I think that's something that at least some silver lining as far as that goes. So.
And you do have the test if anybody on the over the counter.
Yep,
so if
we do. We have a 4-way of them, and we're
awesome.
plenty in stock. And I know there's places that but yeah. So you can,
just good reminders for that.
Just absolutely.
Yeah.
And just keep doing. Washing your hands and doing things like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. They said that they would have to go back for some reason. We went kind of backwards. And so that's something they're saying now, like the public service announcement reminder of washing your hands, and so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't either. And they're even saying that sanitizing wipes and stuff like that for services and stuff like that's good. And if you're comfortable with hand sanitizers, but more important than hand sanitizers is just washing your hands. If you don't have hand sanitizer, wash your hands, and that's going to protect you way more than if you're worried about. And some people, the hand sanitizers were hard on their hands, but the key is back to basics. Wash your hands and, do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm a competitive hand washer. I do. No, I really do. It's one of those things that, if I'm washing my hands and someone comes up next to me, I don't want to stop until they do. You know what I mean?
Oh. Well, I'm the
because
person
I've always felt like I'm
the
being
person
judged.
that sings
So I'm like,
happy birthday.
Okay.
They say that the right time
if you and I were washing our hands,
is in my mind, not out loud. I sing happy birthday.
Okay.
If you sing not too fast, but you sing happy birthday, then that will give you the right time frame to get your hands washed thoroughly and taken care of.
Okay, so if we walk to the sink together. Okay,
I'm not going to be competitive about it.
I won't
I'm
leave
going
until
to
you
do
have
my
to go.
normal pace of happy. I'm not going to slow it down.
Well,
I'm going to do my normal pace of happy birthday in my head, and when I'm done, I'm done.
People could really mess with me on that because, I won't leave until you do because I'm like, I don't want to be judged. I will keep washing until you are done.
Yeah, we'll be here all day. That's what you're saying. Because she's going to get somebody that's just the same way. It's just like we can do this whole day.
I'm a Pisces. I like water. Okay, I have no trouble. When it's warm water, especially. I'm okay.
My hands are warm. I'm done.
Now I'm going to have to. I will use a lot of lotion afterwards, but I know it's weird. Boy, people could really mess with me. I know. And I'm probably going to get it afterwards. Oh, she's going to the sink. Right?
Sometimes we shouldn't tell those things.
I know. Too much information. TIF or whatever.
TMI. But it's not in a bad way. But no, I'm not. I mean, I have mine set standard, and I don't deviate.
I was thinking, thank God it's Friday, so I I'm telling you. Today, I don't know. I need a redo today. Jessica's like, is she for real?
Yeah.
Jessica, I promise. Do I function, Brad?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Very well. Very well.
All right. It's going to be a day for sure. Anyway, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, well,
Jessica
thank you
Morgan,
for having
are
me.
Team Director, exciting. Yay.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you for coming in and hanging out with us. We have fun, that's for sure.
Yes, it's been a good day. Or good morning.
Good
Yes,
morning. Good
yes.
morning. And I want to encourage somehow. I want you to get a Moxie, okay?
I will try.
Yeah.
Don't know what the budget is.
I know. I'm thinking
So that's interesting. It's got to be a girl. Well, no. Well,
not necessarily.
I was thinking, but they think about somebody's got Moxie. That's normally a guy thing, right?
Yeah. There's Moxie hotels,
But I mean,
Yes.
you know,
but
and
like, oh, you're showing Moxie.
oh,
You're showing Moxie.
I'm
So
not
maybe
used-
that's
yeah.
adaptable to that. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know. That's we're
apologize
analyzing.
for
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know,
that.
but
Sometimes people that create this stuff like have a little inside joke, oh, it's Moxie.
it's Moxie. That's Moxie. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm
I
a
really
Sopranos
because
fan,
I
I'm sorry.
think that would be so cool. And I don't know, like I think he or she would have to be very educational.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yes.
I don't know, but I think it would be cool in a little robot. How
Yes.
awesome it would be. That's awesome. So anyway, so if you get one, please call me.
I
wanna
will.
come see
I
you.
will.
I'd like to see it come out of the box because that's quite a. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They do the check over and everything. So that's pretty exciting for sure.
Yes.
All right, and thank you for coming in, Bradley. Keep up the great work at Walmart. You and I have not done we need to do a walk around. We need to.
We
do.
do.
Okay,
We did the
Coffee
one
Club on the
right
road,
before
Christmas.
Thanksgiving.
Or no, it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
wasn't
day,
it?
the 2 days before our big event.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah.
We need to walk around and give the
it's always
inventory.
fun.
We love to do that. Yeah.
Because people may. Anyway, we're probably 6 weeks out from lawn and garden stuff rolling in.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Oh
that's
my
crazy.
goodness.
Oh,
And
I
that's
get
our
so
favorite
excited.
time.
Oh, we chomp at the bit at that.
Yeah.
That's what I love. Yeah, when that starts rolling in. Yeah, for sure. But we need to do like our clothing inventory. You guys.
Oh yeah.
I always been a little.
And let me guess, we'll probably start at the women's home.
You got it. You know it. I do.
We
love
get
it.
a deep dive for that. When we get to the men's, we get a walk around.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, there's the men. That was nice. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Also Rand mentioned, also Rand. But that's okay.
Talk,
That's
and then
okay.
I always just onward how we go.
Yeah.
But also to catch up on electronics too, because you gotta now this is another thing too. They have a wonderful electronics.
Yes.
And it would be, and you have really specialized people that are really good with electronics.
Oh, we have
that might be somebody
great
to bring in
associates
for like
over
some
there that,
speakers
like-
or just to come in. That would be cool to have them come
That
in.
would be
'cause
cool.
Yeah, we have great folks that they are specialized in that area. You have the nerd squad, other places. We have our own version of that.
I love it. Yeah, and they do know, which is important, and it's so nice.
Call our associate Sparks, because that's our
Sparks.
Spark. We have our Spark nerds. So
Nice.
we're
Oh my
proud
I
of
get
that.
it. Yes.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
T-shirts. We
Absolutely.
need t-shirts.
We do need
We need
t-shirts.
t-shirts.
Yeah.
I love that.
So-
All right. Well, thank you. Keep up the great work over there at Walmart, Bradley. And let's take our sponsor.
All right, we've got Walmart, Meadowview Healthcare, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Upland, Celebrity Home Loans, Skyline Suites, Kentucky Anna Cat and Core Recycling, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, and Fox Blue Wealth Management.
Yay. Thank you to all of our great
Thank
sponsors.
you very much.
See Celebrity Home Loans in Salem, where everyone gets treated like a star. Come experience the star treatment with us. You'll never go back to the ordinary home loan experience again. Stop in today and see Dennis Baxter, branch manager of the Salem office, to start working on a new home loan or refinancing today. They've served nearly 50,000 families with over $15 billion in loans. Stop in and see Dennis and his staff. They're ready to work with you today. As a star, you expect the best, and that's all Celebrity Home Loans has to offer. Nothing off the rack. We're talking fine living, designer fashion home loans around here. Come by today and see Dennis or Autumn at 18 Public Square, Suite A, or call for an appointment. 812-883-0670. Remember, at Celebrity Home Loans, you're the star.
There are many reasons to choose Skyline Suites Assisted Living. The number one reason, it feels like home. At Skyline Suites, we offer a fresh approach with compassionate care, which allows you as much independence or assistance as you want. When you begin to think about assisted living, there are many questions like how much it costs and how long you have to commit. Skyline Suites in Salem offers affordable living with no contract. We're truly unlike anything else. Schedule a tour with me, Ryan, by calling 812-320-3761.
Court is back in session, where the judge wears stripes, and both teams are ready for a heated debate. No objections, no filibusters here. Only fast-paced, in-your-face basketball. Catch all the action right here on the IU Sports Network from Learfield.
Dr. Minigun invites you to her new high-tech office in Salem at 1350 South Jackson Street. Her office is a part of Dr. Brad Black's Eye Associates, regarded as one of the leading eye care centers in the United States. The combined practice eye doctors and surgeons have helped thousands of people enjoy better vision. Dr. Minigun is committed to excellence because the people from Kentuckiana turn to her for answers, and patients turn to Dr. Gunn for the best eye care treatment available. If you're experiencing vision problems or having problems with your current glasses or contacts, give her a call today at 812-896-1717. Dr. Minigun is seeing patients for the latest in advanced eye care. You can get glasses, contacts, or prescription sunglasses. Come visit Dr. Gunn at Dr. Black's Eye Associates in their new high-tech paperless office today.
6 minutes past the hour of the Rick and Bubba Show. 866 We Be Big is our number as we make our way back. As we start a brand new hour, that may be the problem. 866 We Be Big. All right, so Speedy, the Real Greg Burgess, Helmsy, Eddie Van Adler, all here as we start a brand new hour. And we'll continue to update you as we move through options for a new name. Don't have one yet for the studio, but that's all right. We'll get one. It'll develop. It'll come. All right, so Bubba, as we make our way back, so we haven't we've been trying to talk a little bit over the vacation. I know the vacation. First of all, everybody on the show was getting sick. Nobody tested positive for COVID, but everybody was getting sick of all the different things. We were winding down. We were moving. It was crazy. Then we were building the studio, and people were building it on the break. You and I, neither one went out of town. I had plans to go out of town. They fell through, but it was only going to be a couple of days of the vacation, even if I went. So the vacation life. I know you were stressed a little because this was going on up here, and you made your way up here a couple of times. I saw a text once that you were at a gas station at 3:15 in the morning. I don't know what was going on there. So it was a weird vacation. Would you?
Yeah, it was. The last few have been weird for me. I'd like to get back to normal if possible.
Right, yeah.
But I know that request is going to be tough. It only comes once a year, so once it's on, you can't do much about it.
Yeah, and so here's the deal. I started the vacation with a sinus infection. So once I spent time at the doctor, and then they told me I didn't have COVID, and they gave me a bunch of medicine that had no impact. And eventually I just, I just treated it till I got to the other side of it. Yeah, that was kind of all we could do. But I will tell you that a couple things did happen over the break that were, I had a moment where I thought to myself, I told y'all we all got delusional, like I didn't actually have a job anymore. And I love what we do and I enjoy it. So it's not something I dread, but there's structure and there's an early start to the day. This is a quote that I had yesterday. You and I have been interacting with one of our radio brethren. They're also going through a lot of change, and I like this because they've done midday, they've done afternoon, and they've done morning. And the last thing they did to this gig was morning, which they're not doing anymore. They're doing a different thing now, and I like how this was worded by him. When we were going back and forth yesterday, and he says that I wasn't made for 4 a.m. That was the text I just found. I wasn't made for 4 a.m. And like a book title. Yeah, and a lot of people aren't made for 4 a.m. I don't think I was made for 4 a.m.
No, I don't think I am. That's why I'm struggling.
It was just I'm forced to be 4 a.m.
Yeah.
But, I know a lot of times people have all kinds of discussions about what they think heaven may or may not be like. And we get some look at that in the Word of God, but not a lot of detail. I know I had this discussion at the table last night as we were enjoying an incredible meal that my wife made last night, and one of my sons came over that lives in town, Camtastic, of course, his girlfriend, and then mom and dad, and Sherry made us all a meal that was phenomenal. We began to discuss that, this could be a meal that may be served in heaven. It was so good. Well, then the discussion broke out about, if you look at, we're going to start the study of Genesis today in the Wednesday Bible study. It's pretty clear in the beginning that we were not eating meat. We were eating off these trees, and then it was fruit, and it was plants.
Yeah.
And now I think they were delicious compared to now because they weren't in a fallen state.
Right.
And then that all falls apart, and then we get to Noah getting off the boat. And at that point, God says, drain the blood out of them and start eating meat. It's all good now. But as Sherry pointed out last night, but we also know during the old sacrificial system before Christ was the final Lamb of God, that God appears to love the smell of meat roasted as sacrificial, because they put they put it on the fire, and there we go.
Yep.
And we do know that God made clothing for us when we fell from animals, and some of y'all don't know the pecking order, but it was established pretty well. So anyway, we started discussing what you and I've discussed before. When we go back, if you look at what Christ has done, he's reconciled us back to the garden.
Right.
We lost the authority that was given us to now who really rules the fallen earth, which is Satan. And he legitimately took it away, and then Christ countered that and took it back and gave it back to the redeemed. Everybody with me? So that's
gotcha.
Yeah. So we're working our way back to the garden, the new heaven, the new earth, God being back in our presence again, not distant from us at all. And then it talks about we're going to have a feast. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
I like that.
Well, is that feast going to have meat in it? Because we're going back. Well, of course, you said I used your line last night, and everybody agreed. The word feast wouldn't be used if there was no meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Sherry threw out, well, God apparently likes the aroma of roasting meat, and even part of sacrifice. And then Brody said, but then it also says, though, that the lamb and the lion will lay down together.
Right.
Carnivores are not going to be eating meat anymore. Mm-hmm. So are we going to get meat? And so it was, I'm not saying that I said, well, we're not going to be disappointed. No. Whatever the Lord.
Whatever God says, I'm good with. I'm down with.
And we all finally ended it on, he's the ultimate preparer of meals, so we're not going to complain about it. So that's when I said, and this is going to be a little sensitive for you, and I apologize for what I'm about to say. He's pointing to Baba, y'all. Okay?
Thanks. I bet I know where you're going.
So, and I apologize for this ahead of time, because I know it's been a year of transition for you.
I know. Thanks.
I think 2021 may have been rougher on you than 2020.
It was. I tell you, I can't.
Yeah. So,
I felt like I was swimming upstream all year.
So, pardon me for part of this.